Alright, so this video is not exactly going according to the plan I had, but it's okay. I actually think this is going to work out pretty cool. So we're going to go through Scream Factory Child's Play films, and we're going to look at the Arrow Video Chucky box set, and we're going to kind of compare these to see which one may be the better fit for you, and that sort of thing. The first things first, let's talk about the Arrow Video Chucky box set on face value. Okay, so let me give you the thing that happened that I didn't realize, and I should have realized. It's my fault, but it actually doesn't matter. I actually think this is actually going to work out just as cool. So, first of all, look, here it is, guys. The Chucky box set. I'm sure you're probably thinking that's pretty cool, right? Alright, so I wanted to get this because I started to get nervous about, okay, I'm going to miss out on this. I'm not going to be able to own this. This is definitely going to go out of print soon. And so I went on Orbit DVD and I got this for under $90. And then when I got it, I realized, wow, that was so cheap compared to anywhere else I could have gotten the set, which is getting fewer and fewer besides maybe Arrow UK. Then I realized, dummy, it was much cheaper because you got the Blu-ray version, which, honestly, it's okay. It's okay. These are movies I definitely would watch in here anyway, and most of them are the 4K scans, and I got this because I wanted to be able to catalog this version. I just think it's pretty cool that Arrow actually did put out a Chucky collection. That's the first thing. We'll get to the second thing. It's actually not even a bad thing. It's actually a very interesting thing because it's actually going to go into one of the negatives about the Arrow set that Scream Factory still has the upper leg on. So, let's look really quick at this, guys. Here is the Child's Play collection if you were to have the Scream Factory version, and we'll go in reverse order. Okay, so in the Arrow box set, they have Living with Chucky. So right here is a solo release of Living with Chucky that you could get from Screambox. This is put out by Bloody Disgusting as well. I think they were involved, maybe not. But this is a Screambox Blu-ray. You can find this at Walmart right now, which is a pretty cool documentary. It's not the best documentary I've ever seen, but it's a pretty cool documentary. Here we have the Scream Factory 4K release of Cult of Chucky with the special artwork, but you can also get these with the original artwork now. Here is not the right one. Yeah, it is. This is Curse of Chucky, an incredible Child's Play film. I'll always stand by that. Ever controversial Seed of Chucky on 4K UHD. The it's not controversial, but the Great Bride of Chucky, which has, I think, the best artwork, the new artwork that was on any of these. Then, of course, we've got the classic Child's Play 3. Who doesn't love that? We have Child's Play 2 and the Great Child's Play. Now, in my hands is my Blu-ray version. I did buy part 1 on 4K a while back, and I was looking all over it. It's somewhere in my house. I don't know where it's at. But I said, okay, for this video, I'm actually going to take my Blu-ray version as the prop for this, and it's actually even cooler that I'm using this as opposed to the 4K, and we'll get right into it, okay? So with Scream Factory, Scream Factory has put out all the movies on 4K UHD. There is an instance where the Arrow set has it beat in some capacity, and there's other situations where Scream Factory has it beat in one capacity. But the first thing to note is there are people that like box sets, and I also think there are people that like individual releases. I think there's something to be said for being able to go to your shelf, not having to open up a box set, not having to pull a box set out, not having to get the case out of the box set. There is something to be said for people that like the series being in order, where you could go to the shelf, pull one out. Okay, you want to watch Bride, you go to get Bride, boom, you pull that one out, boom, boom, boom. There's an aesthetic to this. There really is an aesthetic to this. It's pretty cool to see all the Child's Play films stacked together like that. And honestly, Scream Factory did a good job. The negative about this, the first negative I would say about the Scream Factory set, is they came out in two different times. We got Scream Factory's Child's Play 1, which came out on Blu-ray years ago, and then nothing. And then, as a matter of fact, you know, I even think that Universal were putting out Blu-ray collections themselves after this. So Scream Factory wouldn't hear from Child's Play for a number of years, and then a few years ago we got 2 and 3 on 4K, and then we had to wait pretty much another year for the rest of them, which isn't a super long period of time. It might have been 2 years, but I want to say it was 1 year. But it's not a super long period of time, but it is a little frustrating for collectors where it's just like, give us the set. I mean, obviously you guys are going to go for all of them. Why can't you put them out? So that's one negative, that you had to definitely wait to finish the Scream Factory collection. Obviously, if you're getting into physical media now and you're seeing this video, you'll say, well, it doesn't matter to me because I want to get the Child's Play films on high definition, and I can see you're holding them all in your hand. So that's one thing to say. Now, on the other hand, there may be people that say, I am a box set person. I want to have movies in a box set because that's the aesthetic I like, that's the style I like, and you can look at the Child's Play box set and say that's kind of more my style. So the first thing I want to talk about with this is the aesthetic. The box art, I think, is good. Not great, but good. Good to really good. But the issue is, a lot of people were telling me that when this box set was initially released, there were some cosmetic flaws with it. My box set is in very good condition. I would give the condition of my box set 9 out of 10. There is a little bit of creasing in a corner, but that can be from shipping. That I can't blame that on Arrow or Orbit, so I'm not going to. With this box set, people were telling me, Christian, you lucked out with your box set, because I posted this on my Instagram, and a few people messaged me and said, you really lucked out with your box set. I was like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, no, you should look at this. Somebody even sent me a picture of their box set where the artwork was not perfectly aligned with the artwork on the bottom half, because you could see this is a slider top, right? So they said that the artwork on this was a little bit misaligned, and it seemed like it was, I wouldn't say an epidemic, but there were some instances of that. The other thing people were telling me is the booklet was kind of bent inside of there because it didn't fit very, very well, and I can attest that that is the case for mine as well. The booklet is a little bit, it doesn't sit in there very, very comfortably. It does have to have itself a little bit of a bend. Overall, I think this is a good-looking box set. You've got your roster of films right there on the side. I'm going to try to keep the tab that comes with this. Usually I get rid of these, but for this one I want to keep it because it does have all the features listed on the back of this. So that's cool. You do have all your features on the back of that. The Chucky collection. And I think overall this does give a good representation of the series. On the front, you've got almost like this church cathedral looking window where you've got Chucky representation from the films. Obviously that's the old version. You got Tiffany. There is a scarred Chucky right there. So we get some pretty cool representation. I think you can even see a little bit of Glenn right there. There's Glenn. You get a little bit of Glenn right there. So pretty cool. I think when you look at the box sets that Arrow's doing now, they're definitely going for a style. We've seen this style of box set with the top that comes off, and then the Coffin Joe box set, which I tell you guys, I think the Coffin Joe box set, I have mine somewhere. I forgot where I put it. Oh, I'm looking at it right there. That Coffin Joe box set, I did a video about Arrow video box sets, and I think that the Coffin Joe box set is a more perfect version of this box set. Now, they're very so much the same style. You've got the tops that come off, which I do like this, because their box sets are very much of a nice, heavy quality. But these cases are not actual disc cases. These are little skinny cases. Now, I think I understand why this is. I think the size of the box sets from Coffin Joe and this set are the same exact thickness. So they may have a mold that they're using for both of those box sets, but the difference is this series has movies that they did not want to put on more than one disc. So on the Coffin Joe set, you're going to get 1 to 2 movies in a case, where with this one, these movies they're going to try to keep as uncompressed as possible with all the features that they have. So each movie has its own case and its own disc. So that's something as well. And then it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, because you say, well, they could have done a case and done 2 discs in a case. Well, then one movie's not getting its artwork displayed. So I understand why they did what they did with this. It's a matter of fitting the cases the way they have to be designed into this box. So I think that's why, because you would imagine that they have a mold that they use that's this size of a box set, because it looks identical to the Coffin Joe one. But if this is the size of a box that they use this style, I'm down with this. I do actually really like the slider top. I think it's a nice touch. It's something new. It's something different, something refreshing. And I say continue with that. So I'll give this 1 thumb up. 1 thumb up. I think it's a pretty good looking box set. I like that it's called the Chucky collection and not the Child's Play collection, because I think it also shows some respect to the TV show that's going on now. And the word Chucky is the brand now, as much if not more so than Child's Play in some ways. Now, I was very vocal not being interested in the Chucky television show. I'm a man of my word. I did a YouTube short about this. I will eat my words. I have begun to watch the show. I'm now halfway through season 2. I do like the show, guys, so that's why I feel even better that this is called the Chucky collection and not the Child's Play collection. As silly as that may sound, I think it's cool. I think it's kind of like the way the term Ghostface is now more synonymous as much, if not more, than the term Scream. All the merchandise and stuff like that is referenced as Ghostface. Now, that's actually a legal issue that the original creators of the mask and the Fun World people did. But my point is, I think it's cool. I think Chucky is the brand as much as Child's Play is. Now that we've got that out the way, we're going to open this up and start doing some comparisons and notes that I wrote down for this. And part 1 is very interesting, so let's get this open and pull out our disc 1 from Arrow and look at the release I have from Scream Factory. Alright guys, so here's the first thing. This is our disc for the Arrow version. It is a booklet style. As you can see, it's very thin. But the first 3 movies come with posters, so you're definitely going to get your Child's Play poster for part 1 in here, which is a nice touch. Now this obviously is exclusive to an Arrow thing. You can get this artwork on one side, and of course you can get the classic artwork on the other side. I think this is important to say too, because I don't know if a lot of people actually tell you this in videos. The poster sizes for these, the frames are readily available at Walmart for cheap, for about 10 bucks. So if you want to frame some of these, you can. Even though this is the Blu-ray set, guys, pretend this is the 4K set as well, because in this case, this makes the comparison even more interesting, considering I have the Blu-ray for representation in this video, even though I do have the 4K from Scream Factory, and the Blu-ray release that comes with this. So, Child's Play did not come in 4K whatsoever from Arrow. Okay, so if you got the 4K version of this box set, you're still not going to get the movie on 4K. So, here's what makes this interesting. I said earlier that I do have the 4K of Child's Play from Scream Factory, but for this video I'm referencing my Blu-ray version. But this is what makes this even more interesting is, pretend I didn't have the 4K from Scream Factory, okay? This is a 2K scan of the inner positive. This is a sensational look of the film. Now the 4K from the negative for Child's Play obviously is the #1 cream of the crop version. But this is still a very, in my opinion, respectable way to watch the movie. Child's Play looks really good from this 2K inner positive. Arrow, I can't imagine it's because they didn't want to put the movie out in 4K or even high definition or even this 2K inner positive that Scream Factory did in 2016 or 17. I want to say it was 16. This version from Arrow is the 2012 MGM Blu-ray. It's a good look of the movie. It's not like it's bad. So I don't want to make it sound like I think it's a bad way to watch the film, but the reality is this version, in either this or the 4K box set, doesn't even compare to this version. So that's something that's important, especially if you're a diehard fan of the first movie. Now, don't feel like you need to make a decision just yet. And of course, if this is a video that you own both of these already, I want you guys to be able to give your thoughts down below on this, because this is very interesting that we have the Child's Play series released on 2 major, which is kind of an oxymoronic statement, but 2 major boutique labels. In terms of special features, guys, as I was looking through these, it looks like the majority of these did a great job together. It looks like they have a lot of the same stuff, if not the same stuff on here. So between Scream Factory and Arrow for part 1, the winner is definitely Scream Factory. Whether it be this Blu-ray release from Scream Factory or the 4K release, the picture quality will be superior from Scream Factory regardless. So there you go. There's been a lot of criticism for the art for Child's Play from the Arrow set. I don't think it's bad, but is it the best art I've seen from Arrow? No, it's not. It's not. But I don't think it's horrible. I really don't. You can obviously get your poster with this art, which actually this looks better blown up as opposed to on the, you know. And of course you get the original artwork, which is always, it's hard to beat that original artwork, guys. Alright, so this does in fact use the 4K. Here's a reference for the discs. All the discs look the same in Arrow. They're pretty cool looking. This does utilize the 4K master that Scream Factory did. So obviously with this being the Blu-ray set, this is a 4K, the 4K scan that Scream Factory did for the Blu-ray. But of course, if you had the 4K box set from Arrow, you'd be getting the 4K that Scream Factory did. So with that being said, these are pretty much tied in terms of features and the picture quality, considering this is the same master. But you know, the aesthetic of, you know, having this case and everything may be more appealing to people. Again, I think Scream Factory did a great job with these. I really do. So we're pretty much at an even keel right there, but a lot of these, it's going to go to aesthetic. Aesthetic is going to be a huge part of this, guys. It's okay to have that be a big factor for you, because after all, this is what? Physical media. Okay, I don't want to shy away from that. This is physical media. Of course, specs and all that matters highly. It should be very high on the list. But it's okay to talk about aesthetic. I like aesthetic. I think aesthetic is a big part of collecting. All right, guys, part 3 for Child's Play. Here we go right there. And this is the last one that includes the poster, which is a little bit of a bummer because I think the Bride of Chucky poster is very, very iconic. Now, obviously, you could get that from Scream Factory, but that was a collector's thing, so I don't even think you can get that now. So the bonus is this. Because this collector series were probably sold out for Child's Play 2 and 3 with the posters, you can still get the posters for 1, 2, and 3 if you get the Arrow set. So at this moment in time, that is a benefit with the Arrow set, is being able to get the poster still. I mean, of course, if you don't like this artwork, that's one thing, but you got to remember, you'll get the reverse side, which is the original artwork. With Child's Play 3, there's your Arrow disc, utilizes the Scream Factory 4K negative, and again, special features look to be identical. So it actually looks like there was some like conjunctional work. I say conjunctional. It looks like Arrow really utilized the work Scream Factory did for their release, and Scream Factory is probably happy to license out special features and their masters for this. I almost wonder if Scream Factory made a little bit of money from Arrow's box set themselves. Yeah, pretty much even keeled there. Child's Play 3 looked fantastic on 4K. So next up, guys, we've got Bride of Chucky. I think this is one of the better artworks from this set. I gotta say, I mean, it's not flimsy or badly made, but these are very thin and definitely could get damaged pretty easily. Again, I understand why they sized these the way they did. They were not going to want to put these in one case to hold 2 movies, because I know that they want to be able to give each film its grace, so to speak, and its respect to have it separated. But because they are so thin, guys, you gotta be careful with these. That's one thing to keep in mind. So Bride of Chucky, again, I have the limited edition artwork on here, but you should be aware of the actual artwork. If not, let me give you an example. That's the original poster art, so you can still get that more than likely right now with the slipcover. Bride of Chucky, same. We're using the Shout Factory, Scream Factory negative for Arrow. Special features are the same, even though the back of this one doesn't list them all. I went on the website just to make sure, because I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I saw all the archival stuff that this one has listed on here on this release. And sure enough, it was. It's just, I guess they were printing the labels and stuff before they finalized all the special features and things like that. So again, we have an even keel here. Again, so it's more of an aesthetic thing. Which way are you leaning? Watching this, that's something for you to decide. As far as the artwork goes, this was my favorite slipcover that they did, custom slipcover. Next up, guys, the very controversial Seed of Chucky. I actually think, artwork-wise, for the Arrow box set, this is the best one in terms of the covers. I think this one does a really great job of the cartoonizing of everything, and they actually made Glenn look pretty cool. Glenn looks pretty sinister there. So I actually think of all the cover arts that were done for the Arrow box set, the Seed of Chucky one is the best. But this is where things start to really get interesting, guys. So let's talk about the Seed of Chucky 4K release that Scream Factory did. Scream Factory gave us a 4K scan of the theatrical cut of Seed of Chucky, okay? And that was fine for me. But the reality is, a movie like Seed of Chucky, as controversial as it is, there are people that hate the movie, there are people that love the movie. I've definitely softened up, and I look at it as more of this over-the-top satirical film now. But that doesn't mean it's my favorite either, right? But my point is, there was a battle cry when this came out because they did not do the unrated version as a 4K. And I think Arrow heard that, quite frankly, because that was the biggest criticism I heard from these movies. There were people that were like, who cares? It's Seed. And other people were like, I care. I want the unrated version. So Scream Factory did not deliver that for this release. On the other hand, and here you go, guys, just in case you want to see the artwork for Seed of Chucky, that would be the artwork you get if you bought Seed now from Scream Factory, okay? Arrow Video decided they were going to do the unrated cut as high as quality as possible. Now, 2 things we can talk about with this. Number 1, if you bought the 4K version, you're getting the 4K version, full 4K of the unrated cut of Seed of Chucky. Now, let's say, you know what, Christian? I wouldn't mind saving a little bit of money to get the set, to catalog it in my collection and have it, because it is Child's Play and that's a cool thing. What does the Blu-ray version have? I thought you'd never ask. 4K restoration from the original camera negative by Shout Factory, 4K scans of both the theatrical and unrated version of the film. So you are still getting on this version the 4K scan of the unrated version of the film on here. So you still get in my opinion, a better deal for this, because on Scream Factory's version, you do get the unrated version on a Blu-ray, but on this version, you're getting the 4K scan version of the movie on Blu-ray. So this is an instance where Arrow Video picked up the ball and ran with it a little bit further when it came to Seed. Again, a controversial film, but I think it's important to note this is an area where Arrow did pick up the ball and run with it. So I give them credit there. I give them all the credit in the world. So in this case, Arrow Video definitely wins with Seed of Chucky. Next up, guys, we've got Curse of Chucky. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies in the series. I was checked out at Child's Play at that point, and this one won me back. Again, the poster stopped with Part 3, so unfortunately there's no posters or anything with here. But the reality is, like I said, you really can't get any of these posters anymore anyway. If you need to get online and try to buy an initial release that maybe somebody has on eBay or moviepostershop.com, and if you want to have Seed of Chucky as a poster, you can buy that for $20. They're prints, but they look good. So here's our Curse of Chucky cover. And again, this one is the 4K restoration from the Digital Intermediate by Shout Factory. So you're going to be getting basically the same release on here. Now again, I know that this is the Blu-ray version, but you could pretend it's the 4K version. The principle still stands. You're getting the 4K for each movie. With Scream Factory, this was the initial artwork that was put out, which I thought was really great. Not as good as Bride, but really good. There's the Curse of Chucky artwork. If you got this now, you'd probably get the slip with the original artwork. There could even be a chance that the slips are gone for the these movies now, because they probably sold well. They guarantee a slip for the first 3 months, which obviously was last year. So that could be another gamble you'd have to deal with. I don't know. Some websites like Orbit or Diabolic DVD, they will tell you before you buy it, you will get the slip if you buy this movie from us. Amazon, it's a toss-up, which I know people don't like to gamble with that. So with Curse, you're pretty much even right there, guys. Next up, we've got, of course, Cult of Chucky. And again, this is an instance where the better thing happened with Scream Factory, which also carried over to Arrow. With Cult of Chucky, they gave us and there's the artwork again. They gave us the unrated cut on 4K. So, but I think there is an R-rated cut as well. But, you know, on both, you're getting the unrated version of the film. Which, unrated, I don't know if it was unrated because it never went through the MPAA, because it was straight to streaming. But regardless, you're getting the full version, the full uncut version as 4K from here. And again, they're using the Shout Factory master. So, and in terms of special features, bada bing, bada boom. Looks like that was all the same as well. Now, the difference is this, again. This is something that comes with Arrow, not with Scream Factory. You had to buy this separately. You see, there are differences. The biggest two differences, obviously, is Scream Factory wins, hands down, with Child's Play. Arrow Video wins, in my opinion, hands down, with Seed of Chucky. Now, you can weigh those two and see which one's more important to you. But with the Arrow set, which I think this is cool, they did include Living with Chucky, the documentary Living with Chucky, which again was a good documentary. I liked it. It's not the best documentary I've ever seen, but it's far from the worst. And I think this was something that definitely would satisfy a lot of Child's Play fans. So that's cool that this did include Living with Chucky. But like I said, if you want to buy that outside of Arrow Video, there is a standalone, which actually comes with this pretty cool slip. And I've seen this at Walmart as well. The good news at the end of the day, guys, especially those that may be new into the physical media game and they're looking to get some of the big players like Child's Play, you can't really go wrong either way. There are things that could change your opinion. But here's one thing I want to make perfectly clear, too. This is the most important thing. Because this is a Region B release and this is the Blu-ray version, obviously, I preach to get a region-free player all the time. I can watch these no problem. But if you are an American-based collector that does not have a region-free player, you definitely want to get the 4K version of this, because 4K is region-free. I accidentally got the Blu-ray version. I should have realized why the price was so much lower, was because this was the Blu-ray box set. But in actuality, it actually worked out better for me, because the main reason I was getting this was to catalog the series under the Arrow version, because I do think it's really cool, and it's a big thing for Arrow. You know, they're definitely a label that puts out a lot of cult stuff, but for them to have Child's Play, I think, is sensational. If you were an American-based person, though, if I was going to answer this honestly, Let's say you were an American-based collector and you told me definitely the earlier Child's Play films mean the most to me, I would tell you to go for the Scream Factory releases. But if you told me, I'm an aesthetic collector and I do like box sets and things like that, and maybe Seed of Chucky is one of your favorites, I would say, well, hey, I definitely look into the Arrow version because you will be more satisfied as a Seed fan because of the different the better scans for the uncut version, things like that. And if you don't mind a lesser quality Blu-ray version of Part 1, you could also pick that up elsewhere and things like that. So I think overall, if you're stateside, I think Scream Factory is the ultimate winner. But you watching this have to figure that out for yourself, guys. And if you already own both of these or one of these, if there's something you want to add to the conversation to help out newer collectors and things like that, please let me know. I think for a lot of fans too, I know I'm not the only one, I've seen a ton of people do this, I think it's so cool to see Chucky get great treatment on physical media from the boutique labels. And I think a lot of people were like, this is so crazy that not only Scream Factory put it out, but Arrow put out a box set. It's just bizarro cool, and you never would have expected it. So I am glad to have this, and I'm happy to catalog this, and I will probably use this to watch some of the films. I mean, I am interested in seeing the uncut version of Seed of Chucky from here, to see the upscaling I would get from that, which is pretty cool. And, you know, it's just great, man. It's great to see that Child's Play got a lot of love. And, of course, with this set, I thought I should go over this really quick. You do get a booklet. Again, what was interesting when I was talking to people that own this set was they were saying that the booklet had missing pages, duplicate pages. I flipped through my booklet. Thank God I didn't see anything like that in mine. The only thing is the booklet doesn't really fit perfectly flush, and you'll see it gives you a little bit of creasing right there. Again, I'm going to chalk that up to them using the same kind of mold for the box that they did with Coffin Joe, and will probably be something you'll see in the future with different box sets, if I had to guess. But luckily, my booklet does not have any duplicate pages, and I didn't read through it, but at a glance, everything seems to be okay. So maybe now they've probably situated whatever some of the issues were that they had on that. You know, it's far from the worst I've had. But if at the end of the day, guys, I think if you're stateside, and the more important films to you are the earlier ones, I think Scream Factory would be the way to go if you haven't made up your mind. But let me know what you guys think, guys. If you own one of these or both of these, tell me which one you might prefer more. Tell me the reason you leaned one way more so than the other. And tell me your favorite Child's Play films, guys. I think it's really cool that the series is alive and well, and Don Mancini's kicking ass with the show and all that sort of thing. So thank you guys for watching this. This is your old pal CHH. Take care, and I'll see y'all next time. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.